All right, so good morning, everyone. We're going to be working with um, still a little bit of last class I taught a little bit of yin, a little bit of yang. We're going to sort of stay with that theme by doing some long, slow stretches in the beginning. So try not to fall asleep, and then we'll ramp it up a little bit from there. So grab your strap and put it in a small loop. That loop's going to go around your foot. So that's how small it can be. It shouldn't be tight around your foot, but it's going to go around your foot. And then come on down to your backs. You can just set your strap down for now if you have it. And by the way, if you happen to have a pillow or a blanket or a towel that you might want for your head in a little bit, you can just set that kind of at the top of your mat. All righty. And then come on down to your back. Maybe your feet are on the floor, your feet are wide, your knees come towards center if that feels okay for you. Your hands are resting on your belly. And even if your head is resting on your blanket or your towel, allow your shoulders to descend down toward the floor. So keep your chest nice and open, keep your shoulders nice and wide. And then pause for a moment here. I've been mentioning hearing a teacher say a week or two ago that in order to start, we have to stop. And then this morning, reading an article by Doug Keller, and I'll mess up exactly what he said, but he said that when we get on our mats, we need to move from a place of activity to a place of observation or perception, like what's actually happening in our bodies as we start to pause for a moment and just observe what we're doing. Like the whole time I've been talking, I've been a little fidgety. And so I just try to find that space where I can settle down into my mat and breathe and relax for a moment, just to pause. And one of the greatest ways to pause is to bring the attention to the breath. So taking one hand, leaving one hand at the lower belly, taking one hand to either the upper belly or the chest, both elbows resting on the floor so that you are not holding anything in tension. And then start to feel your breath actually moving through your body. As you inhale, feel your lower belly, and then your upper belly, and then your chest expand up and out. Maybe pause at the top of the breath, and then as you exhale, letting the chest relax, letting the upper belly fall toward the floor, letting the lower belly fall toward the floor. And then repeating this simple pattern, this 3-part breath, Dirga Pranayama. And noticing maybe the quality of your breathing this morning as you inhale, low belly, mid belly, upper belly, chest. And then exhaling, letting the chest soften. And the belly move toward floor. And notice here if you are over efforting, if you are working too hard here, see if you can allow the body to start to expand on its own without force. Maybe pausing at the top of the breath, exhaling it all the way out. Good. Few more right here. And maybe you notice as you focus on your breathing, your mind starts to settle down a little bit, your body starts to settle down a little bit. And then finish that last round and allow your breath to come back to normal. And yet stay kind of aware of the breath as we start to move through our bodies. Grab your strap and take the strap around your left foot. Now, you're going to want either room on both sides, or particularly, you're going to want room on the right side of your mat. So, if you aren't there, maybe you have to turn around or just use your other foot and keep track of it. So, starting with your right foot on the floor, your left foot has the strap. Your left knee is going toward straightness, right? So, depending on how tight your hamstrings are, and you're just hanging on to the strap with either hand and doing really small circles around the hip. So, I'm just moving that leg in a small circle, starting to warm up through the hips. Maybe your circle gets a little bit bigger, but not huge here, right? Not huge, just checking it all out. And then maybe you slow that circle down a little bit, especially when it starts to come up around that left shoulder, left chest, up toward your nose, right? Just checking it out, stretching through the hamstrings and starting to warm up the hip flexors a little bit. One more circle. And then bring the leg to neutral. Hold on to the strap with either hand. And if it's okay for you, straighten the right leg. Once you straighten the right leg, I really want you to ground that leg toward the floor. Ideally, your left knee is still relatively straight. So if you're really bending your left knee, I would bend your right knee a little bit to give the hamstrings a little bit more time to warm up. And then draw the shoulders toward the floor. Flex your foot, maybe look at your foot, see that it is pretty squared to the ceiling, right? As if you were stepping on the ceiling. And just pause for a moment here, maybe even close your eyes and get a sense of what that hamstring, the back of your thigh, get a sense of how that feels. Maybe isometrically push up into the strap with your foot so you're not actually moving the foot, but you're pushing that foot into the strap and resisting with your hand. And then release that. Good. One more time. Push into the strap isometrically as if you were going to point your toes up to the ceiling. And release it. Good. And then grab the strap with your right hand. Your left hip is nice and wide open. You might even take your left thumb and put it in the left hip crease and draw that hip crease down so that that leg is really pretty straight up and down. Your hip, kneecap, and foot all pointing in the same direction. And then slowly, and be mindful here. So slowly, you're going to take that leg all the way across. As you do so, you're going to roll onto your right side. Keep rolling onto your right side. Maybe, hopefully, that foot will come all the way to the floor. Your right leg straight, your left leg now out, way out in front of you. Your blanket or your pillow is just there to keep your head, neck somewhat in alignment. And I want you to just get a sense of how this feels. So your right arm is out toward your foot, right? You're nice and open here. You're laying on that side. Maybe your right foot is flexed. Now, for some of you, that leg is going to be down a little bit lower toward the knee. I wouldn't encourage that so much, but if it already feels funky, Then go ahead and lower the leg. You've got control of the strap, so you can move that leg up or down as it makes sense for you. And pause here. Maybe that thumb goes in the hip crease again and draws that hip crease. Woo, right? So it's almost like a rolling down of that hip as if you could lengthen that whole side body. Feel that. And then one, you're going to stay here. Two, by the way, if this is just way too much already this morning, lower the leg until the sensation decreases. So either you're going to stay here, and I'm trying to get toward the other edge of my mat so you can maybe see what I'm doing. Either you're going to stay here for the third time, or you're going to start to slide that foot out, 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 out toward the right. You're going to roll onto your belly and pause. So for now, my left leg is out to the side. Now I'm more on the top of my right thigh. Inner thigh is getting a bit of a stretch. And I'm just going to contemplate this. How does this feel in my body? Do I need to raise the leg up higher toward that hip line, or do I need to lower it down? Do I need to bend the knee? Really trust your body here. I know this is early in class. So then again, if you are fine here, stay here. If you need to adjust your extended leg, adjust. And if you are able, maybe you come up onto your elbows. Just breathe. And if you've come up on your elbows, maybe you just sway a little bit side to side with your torso. Maybe you find an interesting stretch there. And again, right, if we're not trusting our bodies and taking care of them with love and respect, then in my mind, we're really not doing yoga. So trust your body. If this does not feel like a thing you want to do so early in the morning, change something. And then come toward your center, whether you're down on belly or up on elbows. Pause here for a moment. And then lower back down and take your right arm back out to the side so that you are back on your right side, okay? Now, before you lift this leg, grab your strap. I want you to draw that hip right back, all the way back so it lines up with your other hip. That foot leg has slid back into place, and then lift the leg up, 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 up until you're back on your back. Whew. And lower that leg down. And feel one side to the other side. I'm going to turn around because I don't have room on my other side. But just feel one leg to the other leg and notice if that made any difference in that whole hip line. It's like, whoo, yeah, what just happened there? And then bend both feet or bend both knees. Wrap that strap around your right foot. Your left foot stays on the floor. Pause for a moment. Try to straighten the right knee as much as you can for your knees. And then little baby circles, just small. Check it out. Maybe the circles get a little bit bigger. And maybe they slow down a little bit so that especially as it comes up toward right shoulder, right chest, up toward the nose, you get a little bit more sensation. That's it. Maybe one more good circle here. And then pause again for that hamstring. Knee is relatively straight. You're not locking, right? You're not popping it out the backside, but it's relatively straight for you. And then isometrically push up against the strap with your foot. Just getting some good engagement here. And then flex the foot, release. Good, one more push up against your strap. Big deep breath. And release. Straighten your left leg and pause here. Just get some good grounding. See where it's tight. See where you can get that stretch as you open up through that left side hip flexor. And then as you're ready, we're going to do the same thing on this side. You're going to simply slowly, with control, you're going to take that leg and start to descend it toward the floor, rolling over onto your left side. Whew. And then you're just going to pause and see how that feels in your body, in your leg, in your hip. If it is too much, you already know what to do, right? You did it on the other side. You're going to either, if it's too much, that leg is going to go lower or the knee's going to bend. So just play, explore, open yourself up to observation, right? Get out of the head and into the body sensations here. Maybe your thumb goes into the hip crease. Maybe that hip crease draws down. You can, I don't know about you all, but I can certainly feel which side is tighter than the other. And then as we do this, right, we're stretching through the spine a little bit. We're just having a good old time. All right. And then as you're ready, one, you're going to stay here. Two, you're going to start to roll over to your belly. That leg is sliding out to the side, and you're just going to work your way onto your belly. Maybe your head is resting on your hands, on your forearms. And you're just going to get a sense of what's happening in the leg on this side. What's happening to the leg, the long leg, right? The left leg. Can you make that leg longer? Can you find maybe more of the top of the thigh instead of the inside of the thigh? Where are you? Here. And then if you're still all right, want a little bit more, come on to your elbows and notice. Hip work is always really interesting for me because I know from my reading and from looking at different x-rays that all of our hips are built differently. So how your hips come out of your torso, so to speak, how your legs come out of those hip sockets is completely different for you than for me. So while this might be easy for me to do, this might not be possible for you. And that's where that trust thing comes in. That's where we start to really notice if we're paying attention to what our bodies are asking of us. If you're up on elbows, maybe you're swaying just a little bit side to side. See if you can get into that deep belly stretch a little. That's it. And then work your way back down to your elbows. Start to slide. You're going to take that left arm out to the left. You're going to start to come back onto the left side of your body. Hold your strap, but pause for a moment here as you draw that hip back so that the bottom hip and the top hip line up. That's how you're going to get that leg back up gently. So then take the leg up. Whew. You got to move away from the wall. Pause here. And then slowly lower that leg all the way down to the floor. And just pause for a second here, right? I hear a lot about low back pain, low back issues. And I do firmly believe that if we would take some time to stretch these legs, it would make all the difference in the world. All right, so bend both knees, grab your strap, take the strap. I'm just doing it so you can see on this side. Take the strap around either foot. And take that foot up toward the ceiling. Take your other leg not in the strap, but both legs up so that one foot is in the loop. Sorry, not at the strap, but in the loop. And the other one, the strap is going around the bottom of that foot. Okay. And you're holding on to the strap with that side that is not looped, obviously. And then draw your shoulders toward the floor. Squeeze your belly. And pause. Good. Flex your feet and then press into your strap and toes to the ceiling. Flex your feet and toes up. Good. One more here. Flex, big, strong flex. I've got a pretty good tension on this strap, so I'm holding on to it pretty well. And then point up. Good. And then flex the feet gently and start to slide the legs out wide. So you have control here. For me, the loop is around my left foot. I'm holding onto the strap with my right foot. And I'm going to start by just seeing how wide I can comfortably go or run into my wall here with the knees relatively straight. So, once again, depending on your hips and your hamstring flexibility, your legs might be a little bit further down from hip line. If you can do that and keep the legs straight, that's awesome. Okay. If you bring those legs more in line with your front hip points, your knees might bend a whole lot. So play with that and see where you are. And then push your legs against the strap. Oh, yeah. Push, push, push. Isometric work here, everybody. And then release the push. Good. Just one more here. Push, strong push, and release. And then pull on your strap so that your legs come in halfway from where they just were. Flex your feet, push against your strap. So working outer hips, find your breath, really push and release. One more here, just push against your strap. Big deep breath and release. Pull on that strap the rest of the way until your feet are back together. Bend your knees, draw your knees to your chest, release your strap. Set your strap aside. Good. Keep keep your knees bent, but take your arms to cactus pose. Draw your upper chest toward the floor. Draw your belly to the floor. Sorry about that. Draw the belly toward the floor. Keep your low back on the floor. Flex your feet, and then push one leg out, and then switch. So this is less about how fast you can bring your knees into your chest and more about keeping your lower back on the floor. So as if you were pushing pedals that were at the base of your feet and you're trying to push those pedals so far that your legs flatten. Notice if your lower back is popping off the floor. Be mindful here, right? As we tone in, working some core work. Breathe. And then take the legs at a diagonal. Keep the shoulders down, keep the belly down. Good. Take it back down to horizontal, right? Parallel with the floor. Push. Keep that belly toned. And then pause here. One leg extended, one leg bent. Press your belly down, press your back down. See if you can move that bent knee any amount away from your chest. Whew. Yeah, right? So it doesn't have to go far to really engage that belly. And then bend the straight leg, straighten the other leg, move that knee away from your chest, ideally hip line or even a little further away, more work there. Good, press down, press down, press down. And both knees to chest. Nice job, everybody. Woo. Roll over to one side and come on up to a seat. Right, just that teeny bit of core work and you feel all that yummy warmth going on there. If you're able, cross the legs. If not, straighten the legs to your preferred seated pose. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, left hand down, right arm over. Stretch side body. Inhale up. Exhale, other side. Breathe. Yeah, inhale up. Exhale, go back to the left side. Pause here. Press down through the right hip. Extend out through the right side ribs. Find your stretch. Don't let your head drop down to your shoulder, but then soften that left shoulder as well. Soften the left elbow. Push. Come part way up. So draw the right side ribs in. Release your left hand. Hold. Take it to center. Right arm down. Come on, stretch. First, reach the ribs out, making yourself a big C pattern here. And then draw the ribs back in, soften the right shoulder, right elbow. Come part way up, just so you have good stability here. And release that right arm. Come on back to center. Exhale, let go. Good. Roll out your shoulders, everybody. We got one more stretch here before we get moving. I want you to take your right arm forward and then draw it back in to its shoulder alignment, right? So you're just drawing that arm in and then take the arm up toward the ceiling and then twist toward your right and see if you can kind of gaze up as you stretch that arm, shoulder, chest toward the right. Big deep breath. And then slowly take it back. Bring the arm back down and release. Okay, little different twist than our normal. Take the left arm out. Draw that shoulder back in. So we don't want the shoulder rolling forward to the twist. We want it back into alignment. Take the arm up. You'll notice it feels, for me anyway, it feels a whole lot different. And then twist as if someone were just barely pulling on those fingers to stretch you over to the left side. And release it just as slow and let go. Good. Cactus arms, everybody. Roll both shoulders back. Slowly start to, as if someone has this right elbow and is helping you move to the right. Pull the right elbow back. Pull, pull, pull back. Pull back, pull back, pull back. And then take the left elbow and open it back to the left. Good. Watch the strain in the head, the neck. Find your breath. And then with your left elbow, I want you to pull it to the left. Pull and come back to center. Whoo. Good. Keep pulling with your left elbow. Pull, pull, pull. And then bring the right elbow back to the right. Oh. And come back to center and let go. Right? Whole different things. So cool. All right. Let's come on up to table pose, everybody. Have your blocks near you, maybe just to the front of your mat. Cushion those knees if you would like, if you need to, if you want to. You know what to do. And then right to table pose. Spread the fingers. Watch where you put the weight of those hands. Try to keep it dead center in those hands so that you're not leaning in or out. Wrap those elbows out nice and wide. Feel the shoulders open up. And then a couple simple cats and cows. Good. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Couple more. Last one. And neutral spine, press your right leg back. Tone the belly in, lengthen your tailbone, lift the leg. From here, I want you to just lift the leg a little bit and then lift the chest. Let the head be an extension of that lift. So don't crank on the back of the neck, but just see if you can open up the front of your throat. And then exhale, curl it all in towards center. Inhale, lift slow and lift up. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, curl it in. Two more. Inhale. Exhale, curl. Does the curl get any deeper? Last one. Inhale, lift. Exhale, curl it in. And then release it. Shake out the hands or the wrists if they're getting chatty. You can always come to soft fists, right? Worst case, you can come down to elbows. Not worst case, but optionally. Here we go. Other side. Press the left leg back. Tone the belly in so the tailbone lengthens. Lift the leg. Pause. And then lift the leg a little bit higher. Open up the front of your throat, lifting the head, chest. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, look up and lift. Exhale. Inhale it up. Exhale, curl. Two more. Exhale it in. Last one, lift. Exhale, curl. And then release and let go. All right, so another little tricky thing coming up. I want you to take I'm doing my left leg, it's closest to the camera. So maybe take your left leg out to the side. Think gate pose here, okay? And then draw both hips back so they both feel lined up with each other. Tone the belly in. Walk the hands up. Come on up so you're on your right knee. Your left leg is extended out. Little bit of gate pose here. Roll your shoulders. Whew, and just check it out, right? Like, right, move into your bodies. I want you to take so my left leg is out, my right arm extends out in front of me. Draw that in. And then take it up. We did this when we were seated. Take the arm up to the ceiling and then see if you can follow it as you lift up and twist over or bend over to your left. Your left hand can rest anywhere on your leg. Don't put a lot of weight toward the knee. Stretch, breathe. Oh yeah, and come on up. Both hands to the floor. Here's where you have a choice. Realize my blocks are gonna be in the way. One, you're gonna stay here and then just come on out. Two, you're gonna do this little funky move here. You're gonna start to walk your hands out, maybe come to your elbows. Still feel okay. You're gonna slide down to your belly. And here we are in a very similar pose to what we were. In fact, I think it's the same pose as we were at the start of class. That leg is out to the side. Where it is for you is up to you. It can be straight out. It can be halfway down toward the mat. It's all good. All right, here's where it gets to be fun. We're coming out of this. So lower, use your hands, press up to your right knee, slide the left leg back, and then bend the knee and bring it back. Yeehaw. And turn yourself around if you need to from a room standpoint. You're on your hands and knees again, table pose. Take that right leg out to the side. Your left knee is underneath your left hip. Walk those hands back until you can lift up. Ground that nice long leg, tone the belly. Take your left arm up. Actually, take it forward first so that you can draw it back into its shoulder, and then take it up. Use your right hand to slide down as you gaze, maybe gaze up and stretch through that side. Right, tricky thing is how do you gaze up without lifting the head and dropping the head back? Big deep breath. Big stretch for side body. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, hands to the floor. Walk your hands forward and drop to your elbows. Maybe that's where you're hanging out for this particular pose. Or when you're ready, slide your torso forward. Leg is out to the side. You can come anywhere in between that. Breathe. My extended leg, my right leg is active. My foot is flexed. Breathe. You're stretching through that little belly. Oh, that's it. And then lower down. Use your hands, use your strength. Press up. Go into that left knee and then slide that right leg back. Whew. And breathe. Shake it out, everybody. And then plant both hands and come to downward facing dog. Flexing one foot then the other. Let's just stretch it all out. And breathe. Maybe you pause in your down dog and you play, right? What's happening to the hands in your down dog? Did you go out into that corner, pinky side corner of your palm and weight everything there? Are you putting too much weight on the thumb, the base of that thumb joint? Maybe, right? Can you come into the middle space? Maybe claw your index and middle fingers toward the mat. And breathe. And then walk your hands all the way back to your feet. Whew, and breathe. Bend your knees, hands to knees, lift your chest, head, and come on up. and shake it out. Good job, everybody. And now come back to the front of your mat with your blocks. And inhale, reach up. Exhale, nice forward fold. Pause here. Where is your forward fold, right? Some of you know you can use your blocks at any height to come up and have a little bit more neutral spine. Watch the shoulders, right? We don't want those shoulders rolling up into the neck. Keep the collarbones nice and wide. The belly is toned here. And then soften the knee, step back right knee or right foot. Make sure your pose is wide enough. Sometimes we will step back and the pose will be too narrow. So you know who you are. I'm thinking about you right now. Take your hands to your blocks. And then optionally, your right knee is either down or up, your choice. Your left hip, right, rolls back. Maybe you take your thumb into your left hip and roll it back so that the hips feel even. The low belly is nice and toned. Press into your foot, take your hands to your knee, lift your torso up. As you're doing that, you're super engaging that back leg. Open the shoulders, inhale, reach up and breathe. Right, where are you in your pose? How heavy is your front foot versus your back foot? I do know at least one of you are having some trouble with that big toe mound. So you can just turn that foot a little bit more to the side. Take the pressure off. Nice tone to the belly, everybody. And breathe. Take your, let me get this one right. Take your left arm forward. So same front leg. Take that side arm, pull it in to its chest, into its socket. As you come forward with your right hand to the block, open that up and take it to the ceiling. Keep the back leg strong. Don't let the front knee roll into the middle. And just feel that, right? Even if you take that left arm out to the side and pull it in and then reach it up. And then just circle your wrist while you're there. Make your fingers do a little dance, right? And then find ease in this pose. We're here, right? We're hanging out. Your knee is up or down, your choice, right knee. But then find a little bit of ease. And the first way that I find ease is to not put all my weight into that right hand. So start to lift off of that right hand a little bit. Maybe you take it off your block. Woo. And then lower down, everybody. Woo, yeah. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I got love in my tummy. Step back down, dog. I just love that. Find your breath, everybody. And then as you're ready, step forward with your right foot. Once again, your blocks can come into play here. Find that first lunge. Make sure your stance is wide enough. Remember that left knee can come down to the floor, but then fire up your legs. When you're ready, take those hands to your knee, press the torso up, find your pose, take the arms up, and breathe. If you are overreaching those arms up to the ceiling, soften them down a little bit, make the collarbones wider, and feel that, right? Feel this. This is a strong pose to hold. So how are you feeling? Are you rocking and rolling? Are you wishing I would be done with this? Yep. Come into the present moment. Breathe. Take your right arm forward. Draw it back so the chest is even. And as you take your torso forward, hand to block, right arm goes up. Breathe. And just feel the pose, right? Feel the work. Where do you feel it, right? Is the belly toned? Are the legs supporting each other? Is the head roughly in alignment? And then how do we take some of the pressure off and kind of put it back on all at the same time, right? What I'm feeling is the left hand on the block. I'm leaning pretty heavy there. So what can I do? Engage your belly, maybe come to fingertips, maybe lift off the block completely. And release, hands to blocks. Lower your left knee, slide your right leg back. Maybe move your blocks out of the way for a moment and come on back to little child's pose. That's it. Just breathe, everybody. And we know, right, if child's pose does not work for your knees, you can roll to your side. You can roll onto your back for a moment. Just catch your breath. Feel your body, observe, breathe. All right, come on up, everyone. Table pose. From table pose to downward facing dog. Use your breath. When you're ready, look forward, step forward, right foot. Once that right foot is forward, you're going to turn your body to the left to come into a wide leg forward fold. You can have your block here if you want it. You don't need it, but if you want one or both blocks here, you can have it. Yes, you can. That's the kind of yoga teacher I am. And then just pause here for a second and feel your body, feel the inner legs. And then imagine you have that loop around one foot and out and under the other foot, and you're going to push against that imaginary strap. Keep the hips lined up with the ankles, so don't come forward or back, straight up and down. Breathe. And then release the push if you're still pushing isometrically. Good. One more time. Push against that imaginary strap. And release. Come up onto your hands so that your elbows are straight. Your left hand center of your mat. The right arm out to the side. Draw the arm into its socket. So you're just going to pull it in as if someone grabbed the front of that right shoulder and is drawing it back. From here, see if the right arm will go up toward the ceiling any amount. You can have your hand on a block, by the way, that's going to give you a little bit more height. And then circle your right arm forward and down to the floor. Same thing other side, your right hand toward the center of the mat, right arm out to the side, pull it into its socket, and then take it up to the ceiling. And breathe. And release. From here, heel toe those feet back towards center, hips width apart. Bend your knees, hands to knees. Come on up, everybody. And then just take those arms and give them a good circle. One side, then the other side. Roll them both, right? Shake everything out. And then come right up to us to center, to mountain pose. And breathe. By the way, if your blocks are on your mat or anything else is on your mat, go ahead and take them off so that you have a nice clear space. Take your hands to your hips and open up your shoulders. I want you to bend your knees, lift your left heel off the floor and step out to your left. I have to look because I am mirroring. So all you did was come from center to the side. Keep the knees soft. Center and side. Can you land gently, right? So maybe a little squat added. When you do your squat, if you're doing your squat, bend your butt back, not forward. Good. 2 more. Back. Last one. And come back to center. Feet or hips width apart. Other side. Soft. First I peel the heel. I don't know why it makes it a little easier. And then step out to the side. And then come back. Good. Make it a little easier. So, right side, we're working side to side because we don't always just move in the forward plane. So we're working here, getting ourselves used to moving sideways. Good. Next time you land, maybe pause and then come back. Other side, peel, step out, hold. Bend your knees, squat to your level. Knees press out to the side. Take your hands to your thighs. Let your shoulders scrunch up to your ears. And pause. Good. Stand up. Take that right foot. Step it over. Coming back, coming to the edge of your mat. And then take that right leg. Step it out. Step the left leg in. Step the right leg out. Pause. Go ahead and squat. Take your hips way back. Scrunch up your shoulders. Breathe. Stand up and come to center. All right, so we're going to just do that little drill gently, mindfully, side to side. Okay, and you can have all the fun with this you want. So you can get funky. You can be shorter step, longer step. Here we go. Out, in, out, center, out, in, out, and center. Good. Take it out and center and out. You can go as fast or as slow as you feel comfortable. Make sure you're squatting. Leg strength. We got one more. Center and out and center and pause. Good. Feet or hips width apart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Find your chair. Instead of taking your arms out, I want you to keep your thumbs touching your chest. Lift your chest, but then tone the belly in to lengthen your tailbone. Big deep breath. Plant those feet. Arms to cactus. Let your right elbow lead. Twist to the right. Drop elbow down to knee if you can. Hands come together. Prayer pose. Breathe. Separate the hands. Lift back up. And breathe. Inhale. Exhale, chair. Cactus arms. Left elbow leads the twist. Right elbow comes to knee. Hands come to prayer. Find your breath, everybody. Separate to cactus. Lift up and stand up. And shake it out. All right, grab your strap. The strap is going to be optional. What may or may not be optional for you is to find a spot where you can have a hand to a wall or to a ledge or to a chair. Okay, so balance work. Go ahead and take the strap around your left or around your right foot and maybe tighten it up just a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. So anytime we use a strap for balance work, if you start to feel unbalanced, drop that strap, okay? Don't fight it because the strap can throw you off. So all I want you to do is hold the strap with your right hand. Your arm is pretty straight. And I want you to see if you can bend that knee up toward your chest. Okay? And you can hold the strap. If the strap messes with you, you can release it. And then let the strap slide back down. Good. Plant your left leg. Bend your right knee. Hold on. Squeeze your belly. Your left hand can be on a wall or a ledge. Good. If you're okay here, I want you to see if you can straighten the leg. You have the strap there, so you have some leverage, but draw that right shoulder back. We've been doing that all class. Still okay? Leg goes out to the side, and your left arm goes out to the side. Find your still point and breathe. Stand tall on your left leg, everybody. Pull the right shoulder back. That's it. Bring it center if you can. And lower that leg down. Good job. All right. You can do that without a strap too. What I like about using the strap is it allows you to keep your body in better alignment for many. Because when we're trying to do this, and then we get all scrunchy, right? And all curled up, yeah, not so good. Strap is around your left foot, standing on your right. Lift up your torso. Simply bend your knee and find your balance. And when you do this, you can stay right here. Your standing leg is super active. Your shoulders are nice and wide. You're finding your breath. And then let it come down. How'd that feel? All right, let's do it again. You know you. Find the place that works for you. So, one, your knee is bent. You're standing tall. You are balancing. That might be it. Or you're going to straighten the leg in front of you. Or not. And breathe. Feel that hip socket go deep. Find your breath. Still okay. Leg goes out to the side. Woo. Goodness gracious. Belly tall, chest wide. Breathe. That leg can be any amount of bent. That's it. Find your focus. And bring it center. And let it go. Oh, and shake it out, everybody. I got some work to do on my left side. Goodness gracious. All right, so I didn't say it, but if you happen to have a blanket, come on down to your mat, and then open up your blanket. You can either open it, for me, it's kind of half on my mat, half not, or you can take it long so that it covers more of your yoga mat. Now, for my knee folks, my gals out there that I know have some knee issues, you might not want to do this one. You might want to come to your backs and go wide bent knee instead, okay? Otherwise, you're gonna come up to your hands and your knees. You're gonna start to take those knees wide. This is a pose I don't do a lot. It's frog pose. I don't do it a lot, and I'm cautious when I do. The blanket helps your knees slide so that you don't stick. If this hurts your knees, please don't do it. Come onto your backs instead. Otherwise, ideally, your knees and your ankles line up, okay? And then your hips and your knees kind of line up. I should turn sideways probably. And you're gonna think about how much or how little you want to come down. So, and I don't go super wide. I know a lot of yogis that can go very wide here. It's not for me. So here I am, and I'm gonna just come to my elbows. And I'm gonna think about what's happening in my legs. This is quite intense for me, even though my inner thighs are really open and flexible. This is an intense pose for me. So I'm just gonna hang out here and think about it. Do I want more? Do I want less? Are the knees too wide? Are they not wide enough? What's actually happening in my legs, in my hips, in my body? And I'm just going to think. And then if I find at some point that it's going to settle down, so one, I'm here, two, I'm out, or three, I'm just going to walk the arms forward and maybe come down to my chest. So we've done different variations of this on single leg. Still okay? I might try to move more to my belly so that the hips are coming a little bit closer to the floor. Woo. Everybody breathe wherever you have chosen. Breathe. And then coming out of frog, I always find tricky. For me, the easiest way is to slide the rest of the way down to the floor and bring my knees in towards center. And then I just gonna pause here. And if you came out of frog a different way, just when you're ready, come on down to your belly. Just breathe. That's it. And then come on to your elbows, Sphinx pose. Pinky sides down, soft fists, elbows under shoulders, all of that stuff you already know. Press into your knees, scoop your belly, and lift your torso away from the floor. So we're doing a little bit of reverse work from that frog. Breathe. And it's obviously core. And as you release, let the belly come to the floor. The head lifts back up, Sphinx pose. All right, two more right here. So go slow. Feel as if you were just going to peel your belly off the floor and keep it going until your whole mid belly is away from the floor. Breathe. You can even let the head drop here, which is kind of an interesting thing. And then unpeel down to the floor. Once you're there, lift the head. All right, last one, my darlings. Here we go. Squeeze in the belly. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Start to lift. I'm pressing into my knees. Breathe, pressing into my forearms. Let the head drop. And slowly let go. And then come right back down onto your bellies. And breathe. Good. And then roll over to one side. We got one more thing to do before we really settle. So roll onto one side and come on back up to a seat. Grab your strap. So you're going to take that loop around either foot, doesn't really matter. And then you're going to take the other part of that strap around your other foot, just like we've done in different poses. So I've got it there around both feet. And then I'm going to start to lean back. It's a little tricky. I'm going to lean back and see if I can lift those feet up. I'm holding on to one end of my strap. So what are we doing here, folks, right? We're doing boat pose. Of course we are. So we're lifted up. If boat pose is really hard, your other hand is going to come anywhere behind you to support your torso. You've got the strap in your hand. Take the legs wide. Push against your strap. Lift with the other arm and see if you can hold. Push against the strap. Core work. Everybody breathe. Yep, you got it, you got it, you got it. Slide the legs back together, bend your knees, let go of the strap. Woo! Hold your boat pose and let go. I just had to add that one on. All right, come on down to your backs, all the way down. Doesn't that feel good? And just breathe. Grab your strap, both knees bend. If you can follow along here, we've done this before, you're going to take that strap to the tops of your feet, okay? And then you're going to wrap one end around the bottom to the inside, wrap the other strap around the bottom so they go from outside to inside, and you have both ends of your strap to the inside of your legs. So happy baby, it's one of my favorite versions of this. The legs separate as the knees come in toward the side body, and you go as wide as you want or as narrow as you want. And with this strap, you're simply just going to create some weight. So I'm not really pulling down. I'm just letting my arms be heavy back to the sides of the mat. And allow the legs to press against the strap gently. Soles of your feet are pointing up. Interestingly, my legs are just doing a little shimmy shake here, releasing some muscle tension. The shoulders are wide. I'm pressing the heels away from each other, the feet away from each other. The sacrum presses down to the floor. Try not to over round. Take a deep breath. That's it. And then pull on the strap to bring those legs both together and feet straight up to the ceiling. Okay, so now you have both feet kind of wrapped up in a little bind. Just feel that, shoulders to the floor. Turn the knees out, turn the soles of the feet together. Your feet are bound. Lower your feet to the floor slowly. Lengthen through your lower back. You can either hold your strap, kind of like to take it around the inside of either thigh, right? Either inner thigh. And then I just let the hands rest on the floor. A supine Baddha Konasana here. Bound Baddha Konasana, different variation again. And just breathe. And depending on your hips, either your feet are close to groin or your feet are well away from your center line. Maybe your knees don't bend quite that much. Just find your breath. And just see if you can relax here. See if you can allow the upper body to soften more and more to the floor. You don't have to hold this strap at all. So once you have it kind of snug where you want it, you can let the arms go out toward the sides, shoulders down, chest open. And so once again, we move from action, from moving and, all of that energy stuff to back to observation, back to the perception of what our bodies are feeling or the presence of what we are experiencing. Pause here. You know you can come out of the pose at any time, but if you are okay and you feel comfortable, stay here. Lengthen through the back of your neck. Feel your soft belly move. And then ever so slowly, with hands to outer thighs, draw your thighs back to center. Draw your knees to your chest, undo your strap, and set your strap aside. Your right foot to the floor, your left ankle to your right knee. Draw the knees toward your chest. Little figure four here, nothing big. And if this still feels okay for you, I want you to take your right inner ankle toward your left knee. So you're angling it toward the left, but still keeping the hips from skewing. Okay, that's going to deepen your stretch. Deep breath. Let it go. And then slowly come out of this pose. Let your right foot come back to the floor. Relax your left. Switch sides. Right ankle to left knee. Draw the knees toward your chest. Pause here. Just feel your figure four. Feel the stretch through your right hip. Relax your jaw, your belly. Your shoulders are to the floor. And then draw the left inner ankle toward that right outer knee. Whew. Try not to skew the hips, right? Because those hips are going to want to go with it. Try to keep the hips center. And then release. Both feet to the floor. Both knees to chest. Take the arms inside if you can, inside your legs, outside your feet. Come into a true happy baby. If you cannot reach your feet without overreaching the shoulders, just take your hands to your ankles or behind your knees. Come into your happy baby. I invite you to rock side to side and breathe. Good. Feet together. Remember when you were a baby and you can nibble on your toes? Right? We know that's not happening. And the knees toward chest. Straighten out your left leg nice and long. Really stretch that baby out. And then stretch your right leg out as well. And let's come to Shavasana. If you have a blanket, you can wrap that blanket around you if you happen to have it in that configuration. Can snuggle up, make sure you're plenty warm. And maybe the hands rest again on lower belly and upper belly or chest. But this time not focusing on the three-part breath, but just feeling your breath as it moves through your chest, your belly, your body. Feel a softness come over you. Feel a kindness move through your body as you honor and respect and love this vessel that brings us through the world. Feel yourself getting softer, softer. Feel a sense of compassion for your body. Acknowledge all that your bodies, your hearts have been through and love it all. Feel yourself soften. For those of you who are ready, start to wiggle your toes and your fingers. Feel the breath deepen. Feel gratitude for another day. Draw your knees to your chest. Give yourself a big hug. And then rock those knees to one side or the other. Curl over in fetal pose. And ever so slowly press yourself all the way up to your seated pose. Bring your hands to your heart. Bow to all that makes you you and all of the gifts that you have to offer out in the world through your kindness, your love, your compassion. Namaste.
Thanks, Mare.